Liberec in the Czech Republic, our host for the 12th of the 25 jumps in this season's World Cup competition. The action on the big hill with a critical point of 120 meters and a reasonable crowd packed around the banks to see the world's best jumpers, although a few stars, including Jens Weissflog and the Japanese squad, absent away preparing. Well, this is the story of the best jumps in the second of the two stages. Heinz Kutin, 15th after the first jump. Kutin pulls out a good distance there. 102 meters, the first effort that he did, but this much better, 113.5 meters with good style to take the lead. But the best going in reverse order, and here's Janne Ahonen. 5th 24 hours ago in the first of the two jumps on this hill. And finding the sort of form that he showed just before Christmas when he won on the big hill at Engelberg. Very good fluent movement into the aerodynamic position there and really good distance as well. Ahonen, 12th after the first jump. 113 meters and good style. And first jump, this is Ruhr Jökulsá. Very good effort from Jökulsá, 112.5 meters the first time with good style. Squeeze not quite even during the flight, but over 100, not as good. He needed another one of those jumps to, another of the 112 meter jumps to really put him in contention. But Norway with 3 in the first 4 after the first jump in a strong position. But it's Chacon, Ahonen, and now Jökulsá. Teammate Lasse Ottesen really delighted with his first effort. Ottesen, runner-up in Falun last year, still looking for that first World Cup victory. His best of the season, 4th at Engelberg, and he equaled that 24 hours ago. But looking to be in pretty sharp shape. 117.5 meters the first effort, but he sacrificed style there. He didn't really get the telemark first time. He needs to try and find that if he can, that bent knee with the extension on the landing. Hands characteristically out from the side, but that's a good effort by him. It isn't 117, it's closer to 110. Might even be exactly 110, but the style much better. The judges are now used to his particular characteristic and not penalizing him as they were originally. And yes, I've got there, he says. And into first place goes Ottesen. So Norway, Italy, Finland at the moment, 2 to jump. And the next man, a Czech favorite. Here's Ottesen. You can see the arms out from the side of the body, but he holds them nice and steady. The skis not as exaggerated in the V as many, and the body not as low, but nonetheless it's pretty effective. But he doesn't quite attract the highest marks for style yet. So Jaroslav Sakala, ski flying World Cup champion of last season, looking for a pure World Cup victory still. That's a lovely jump and a good distance there. Sakala over 110 meters. The critical point, 120, hasn't really been threatened too often. In fact, on the first run, it was only, first jump, I should say, only Bredesen who did that. But that's much, much better. And this will be the lead. 113.5 meters for Jaroslav Sakala, who now goes ahead of Ottesen and Czech with Ahonen off the podium. Just one little correction here, but he really controlled this beautifully during the flight. Look how low the body is and how much in line it is with the skis. Just a small split as he spots the landing there, but he gets a telemark. So now the World Cup leader, Four Hills champion, the man to beat at the moment, Espen Bredesen, who set the hill record here yesterday, 125.5 meters, went 121 on the first jump. What, I wonder, is he going to produce now? It's going to be a long jump here from Bredesen. Oh, and he's just thrown back. So he's going to lose an awful lot of points. Let's just hope he's okay. And that was obviously painful. Well over 120 meters, and anything like that would have been, and he still might even snatch this competition even now. And the right leg, yes, half the points gone. The Norwegian teammates across to see him. And that's a truly nasty fall by Espen Bredesen. And the cause of it, exceeding the critical point by so many meters, landing on the part of the hill where it flattens out and even begins to turn up for the outrun. But the news after a visit to hospital, a little more promising than we'd first feared. The tendons around the right ankle stretched, and he won't go to Japan to compete in the last two jumps before the Olympic Games. But the pundits, the doctors and his coaches believe that Espen Bredesen will be fit and well for the Olympic Games, and that's the best news of all. Helped off initially by his teammates, but then wiser thought prevailing, and the stretcher brought in. So Jaroslav Sakala getting the victory, not necessarily in the way that he would have wanted, but nonetheless a worthy winner, and he gets his first win of the season and his first pure win on a big hill. Bredesen has to settle for second place, with Ottesen finally on the podium and Czech in fourth place. Those two changing places from yesterday. Ahonen in a very good fifth place. Meglik in 10th, a name for the notebook, he's improving. Ratmar still hasn't got his best form, and Goldberger slipping a little bit off the pace down to 12th. Petek, another man for Slovenia, beginning to find his feet. So Sakala gets the 100 points, which will move him a little closer to the top, but in fact it's Bredesen who takes the honours locally. The Bohemia Crystal going to Espen Bredesen by virtue of his performance yesterday and today. Nothing to do with World Cup points. Sakala the runner-up and Ottesen in third place.
En 9. og en annen plass denne helgen I Sapporo viser at det hopptekniske intakt, og at eventuell angst byttet ut med den selvtilliten og roen Espen har vist hele sesongen.